Okay, boys and girls, the next section that we're going to go over is Chapter 2, Section 2. This is percent and estimation. Alright, so boys and girls, for this one, basically it's just like percent of a number, except for we're going to estimate. So the easiest way to explain it to you for our purposes is when you estimate, it's changing the numbers so that they should be easier to work with in your head. Basically what you're going to do for these is you're going to change the numbers so they end in zeros, at least for our class. So for example, let's say we're finding 62% of 500, and they tell you to estimate. Well, estimating we do before we solve the problem, not the same thing as rounding. So 62% is very close to 60%. 500 already ends in zeros, we're good. So we would do 60% of 500. .60 times 500, and we end up with 300. Sometimes you'll have to estimate both numbers, and that's fine. For example, 39% of 298. 39%, very close to 40%. 298 is very close to 300. So we would do the problem 40% of 300. Now, since we're changing the numbers, we're not getting the exact same answers as if we did it with those problems. And that's fine. This is an estimate. This equals 120. So basically what this tells us is that since 40% of 300 is 120, we assume, or we guess, we estimate, that 39% of 298 should be very close to 120. Now, one thing that I want to show you, one little trick, is if the percent that they give you, if they either give you a decimal that's less than one whole, let's say, I don't know, 200, doesn't matter, or if they give it to you in fraction form, 1/4 of a percent, because 1/4 equals 0.25. Either way, this percent that we're starting with is less than one whole. When this happens, the book wants you to estimate this to be 1% of the other number. So remember, less than a whole percent, estimate it to 1%. Otherwise, go up or down so that you have zeros on the ends. And that's about it for percent of a number with estimation.